Yo, Jennygang, what it do? So we're back with another Jennygang production. Don't do anything until you hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. It's so easy, so simple. Or dislike button, whichever one you choose. But you know you like the video. And it hadn't even started yet. Share my videos as well if you don't mind, and comment on my commentary. This is a very controversial subject, or person rather, that I'm doing this video on. Also, you guys do know that I did start my clothing brand, a soft launch to it. It's called Plush Posh. I am wearing the money robe that you guys seen in the previous video. It is available. All you have to do is click on the Instagram link that I leave in my information and go see the merch. The fall merch is dropping so soon, along with the website launch. So let's talk about Alpo Martinez. So for starters, I've been hearing about him for a few years, heard about the grimy behavior that he had going on, and just really, what I really didn't understand about Alpo is why, since he had so-called like did his time, paid his debt to society, supposedly when you're in prison, you're supposed to be going through like, reformation or being reformed, what have you. But it seemed like to me, even though this man did a lot of grimy stuff, he came up out of there like kind of like proud of what he done. It was never like any remorse, like, hey, don't be like me, and if he did say any of those things, it couldn't have came off sincere because of how he was acting. Now, in everything that I'm saying here, it's not really alleged, but it's alleged and for informational purposes only. This is not to offend or get anybody upset or defame anyone. This is simply me giving my opinion on Alpo Martinez, the notorious DRUG Lord from Harlem. Real quick, when I was just digging about like specific things about him, I do see that he is a Gemini. He was born June 8th, 1966. So if you rock with gang, you know I am a Gemini. So Geminis, we got to hold this L, okay? This is not, we don't really want to have to claim him like that, but unfortunately he is a part of us. So this would explain why he was so successful. This would explain why he had multiple streams of incomes. This would also explain why he was so smart and witty. That's just a few of the things that come along with being a Gemini. But of course, just like any other sign, we got bad stuff about us too, but not all this stuff that Alpo had going on. So let's address the obvious. This dude was murking people left and right. His security guard, Wayne Perry, or hitman, whatever you want to call it, pretty much, they took away so many people. You can't even count it on 10 hands, the amount of people that they took off this earth, particularly Gary and Mitch, okay? And I wish I could remember Gary's last name, because I want to talk about the ridiculous reasons that Alpo gives to take away his friends. Now, this video probably should have came when I first started learning about Alpo and seeing how, I'm not gonna say influential, I'm gonna say seeing how known his story was in New York and all over the world for whoever has seen Paid in Full and related it back to, the real story of Alpo and Rich and I believe it was AZ. Excuse me, y'all. It's like I've been trying to burp and talk. But yeah, this dude, two of the people that he took off of this earth were people that was supposed to be like kind of cool with him, and people who had done things bent over backwards for him, as far as like hustling, as far as like knocking other people off, protecting Alpo, whatever. it's like he stabbed them in the back by taking them off the earth. So Gary, Big Head Gary is that's what they call him. From my understanding, he had knocked people off for Alpo. Basically what I'm saying is that they had done things for each other and they had developed somewhat of a trust for each other. So, but Alpo is such a snake. He makes up reasons in his head to kill people, is how I felt. So supposedly with Gary had made a comment about Alpo's either wife or girlfriend at that time. The girl was kind of crazy or whatever. But he said that bitch is crazy. Why you still with her? Or something like that to Alpo. Alpo didn't really like it. And then he says that same comment about the girl to one of Alpo's associates. So, of course, the associate not only calls and tells Alpo, Gary made a comment about your wife, but he also tells Alpo that there's a big deal that Alpo and Gary were supposed to be closing that took a lot of money to close or whatever. And it's unclear to me if in that big deal, if Alpo thought that Gary was just running his mouth too much about the deal, you know what I'm saying? Because somebody ended up knowing about the deal that shouldn't have known about it, and they told Wayne. Remember, Wayne is Alpo's right-hand man, his security is hitman. I don't know if Alpo was irritated about that, or if Gary was telling that information, but also being like, he was gonna do like some snake stuff to try to make more money than Alpo or jip him. I don't really know, but between those couple of reasons, even with all of their history, all the money that they were getting together or whatever, Alpo decided to knock him off for that reason. So Alpo is a trickster. So he played on problems that Gary had in the streets. So Gary calls him and says, you know, someone named Jawbreaker, a few other people tried to kill him a few weeks ahead, and he wanted to get revenge on them. And just so happens he knows where they're at. Let's go ride off and do it now. So, you know, Poe was already trying to figure out how, when, and where he was gonna knock Gary off. So he pretends he's gonna take Gary to hit the other dude, Jawbreaker, and they end up hitting Gary. You know, they ride looking for the dude they're supposedly gonna hit with the headshot, and yeah, they get Gary in the car while he's riding to go kill someone else. The karma in the universe works very, very weird though, you know? Obviously it wasn't Jawbreaker's time or whatever. So, okay, so that's already disloyal as hell of a reason to kill someone. Then he goes as far as dehumanizing Gary in this interview by saying he boo-boos on himself after they shot him. And he started smelling up the car, you know, because I guess when you pass away, your vows loosen or whatever. He was doing that to embarrass the man further. Also, there were rumors about Gary's genitals being taken off after his death, which Alpo says, no, that wasn't true. I had them to take all of Gary's clothes off, and we had to drag him through these very rough woods, you know, so while we're dragging him, his body's just getting, you know, cut and all this type of stuff. So that's where that rumor came from. But he said that he didn't take any genitals off. But yeah, so he dehumanizes people, tricks them, and befriends them, makes them trust him, and then you don't even understand what thin ice you're walking on while dealing with this dude, because he's so charismatic and fake. You know what I'm saying? He's all about self. So with the Rich situation, I mean, I definitely can understand why you'd be upset with your best friend trying to like jip you out of more money for something. You would think you and your best friend would put together a plot on how we can, get over on other dudes in the streets. He felt like Rich was trying to get over on him, but like at the same time, you never know what Rich's reasons was. You don't never know if Alpo was doing like extra stuff that was taking money out of his pocket. You know what I'm saying? You really just don't know. And all the favors he probably done for Alpo, he probably felt like, yeah, I'm going to trick him into paying this price for the plug. So for people who don't know the story, I know a lot of people have dissected this, especially since Alpo was just murdered a week ago. But for people who don't know, supposedly he killed Rich because they had connects, and one of the connects, I guess Alpo's connect, was out of commission. And so Rich's connect was still on, or it might have been vice versa. But at any rate, the rate that Rich was getting for the bricks, Alpo thought he should get that rate or just a tiny bit higher as well. But Alpo runs into the plug and just inadvertently is like, hey, you need to get back on or whatever. And the plug like, bro, I just hit Rich off the other week. So Rich, he wasn't being honest about where he was getting the work from so he could charge the higher price. This is what Alpo says. Now, we can already see this man is a liar. And he tells the truth a lot too, but he tells the truth accidentally more than on purpose. But basically, he felt like, okay, Rich is underhanded, and he asked Rich about it, and Rich still lied and said he got it from another plug, which he had just heard it out of this plug's mouth that I'm not out of work. I just sold your man some work the other day. So, like I said, I feel like it's probably a bunch of background stuff that he was doing to Rich, where Rich was like, I'm tired of taking or ignoring this, that, and the third. Because the way that Rich is so loved and respected in New York, I just don't see that he was a grimy dude. And if he was a grimy dude, it don't seem like it would be for no reason, you know? Yes, selling, narcotics or whatever is, it's grimy, it's lower vibrational, just like I feel like my career is lower vibrational. But you're supposed to do, if you're going to do lower vibrational things, you're supposed to do it as a stepping stone. That's how I look at it. You don't do it just to traumatize yourself in the world. You do it and say, well, I'm going to do this so I can get here. And it's going to make me here. You know what I'm saying? And the bad things about it, boom, I'll take those as experience. But the good things will make me stronger for when I do something that is more higher vibrational. I feel like Rich had like I said, not even knowing him or anything, there are just too many people that have his back for me to feel like he was however Alpo was trying to make him seem. So Alpo asked him, his best friend Rich, he asked him again about the bricks, where he got them from. Rich lied to him again. So you already know, him and Gary, the one I was just telling you that he knocked off, they knocked Rich off. You know what I'm saying? And then took Rich's body somewhere that Rich's nephew, who was kidnapped, you see it in the movie, he was kidnapped by his own uncle, but somehow his nephew was murdered, but him and Rich and his nephew's bodies end up being laid around the same place. It was, I guess it was figured out that it was Rich's own uncle that kidnapped the nephew. However, it's just very weird that the place that Alpo decided to take Rich's body was so close to where his nephew's body parts ended up being, because they did dismember the little boy. So we never know. He might have even, he's so evil, he might have had something to do with that, and he might have told the uncle, I'll give you this, or I'll give you this amount of drugs. I think that the uncle was like a drug fiend from what I could see in the movie or whatever. But let me look up what I wanted to say though, and I've been seeing that I'm not the only one with this opinion. Alpo, whether you're an Alpo fan or not, clearly I'm not. I don't like people who kill without a reason. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't be killing nobody unless it's self-defense, somebody trying to harm your family. Like, there's rules to everything that you do, right? But people try to put Alpo in this gangster or, you know what I'm saying, someone that's really, really hard out here in the streets. And unfortunately, I don't see him that way, right? A gangster is a member of a gang of violent criminals. What it means to be a gangster? Well, it says the same thing. A member of a gang of criminals, racketeer. I guess you could throw him in that category or whatever, but I just don't think Alpo deserves any praise when it comes to being like a stone cold, you know what I'm saying? Like, he just bought that life. Basically, I seen someone say exactly what I was thinking on one of these New York podcasts. And I wish I could remember the YouTuber's name, because one of his callers called up and he hit the nail on the head. Alpo was a serial killer. He was not a gangster. He was not hard. He didn't approach anything head on. He approached everything, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes, like the dang on feds. He'll find something out about you, or either stop liking something about you, build a case for you in his own head, build it with his hitman, tell him why, and then boom, he'll get you like that. I just feel like some of the credit that Alpo gets is for people who really are about that life. Like, they knock you off, no one ever knows, there's no bragging, they really knocked you off for a reason, you know what I'm saying? And they damn sure ain't telling on they right hand man. There's no honor in how this man moved. So that's how I feel about him. I have seen videos that say that Harlem was partying last week. Y'all might be still partying. I can only imagine how it feels to be Rich's sister. I think it's Pat, maybe Pat Porter or something like that. How it feels to have seen Alpo get out of jail, come home, not just live, but live comfortable, then go to living good, then go to living better, then go to just living it up. Like, you doing all of this, you're happy, you out here giving interviews like you some sort of celebrity that has accomplished something. Like, bruh, you're a snake. You Harlem's biggest snake right now, and you think you deserve shine for that? Like, I don't think I could have been his sister. I think I would have had to move somewhere and just let all the things that he was doing and saying and all that flexing he was doing, I would have had to seen it from the distance. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to her for not, you know what I'm saying, reacting like probably most people would have. They would have been just walked up and just gave him that revenge, because he took away a lot of people, you know, for mostly no reason. The streets have an expiration date. We all have an expiration date, but the streets is just like, it's like the most guaranteed thing that you can do that has an expiration date. You know what I'm saying? Almost like whatever you do, you kind of know that that's what's going to happen to you. I will say that I thought once karma came back and got Alpo, I just knew his passing was going to be brutal. I just knew he was going to get tortured for days, and you know what I'm saying? I just knew his homegoing was going to be like that. But actually, just him just being, you know, shot up like that, not being funny, that was kind of easy. An easier way to go than what I thought people would probably do. But just seeing that he was in witness protection and he liked a lot of attention and stuff like that, it would have been too hard to kidnap this man and hold him for days, and that would have been too risky. So I understand why whoever hit him the way that they did. Quick, fast, in a hurry, Everybody acting like they ain't see nothing. I also see this conspiracy theorists that say he's not dead. You know, there wasn't any blood on him when they pulled him out of the truck. Okay, true. A lot of things about this is suspicious. But if it was a setup, what would be the motive of them faking his death right now? Like, what's going on with him? What could he have possibly done that's worse than all the mess that he's already done when he's just been walking around chilling? Why would they need to fake his death? Why would he need to fake his death? I don't believe that. I think he is gone, but I think he got it easy. Is there anything else I want to say about this controversial subject? And remember, I welcome all opinions to my page. I welcome opinions that agree with me. I welcome opinions that don't agree with me. I just don't welcome any disrespect with it. I don't welcome any personal reasons to disagree with me. Like, if you're an Alpo fan, you like what he do, you want to be like him, okay, cool, that's your prerogative or whatever. But over here, I ain't rocking with it. Don't respect it. And I honestly wonder if his funeral has happened or has it happened. I could see it being a mockery. Like, people really just there to say, you know what I'm saying, nigga, see you in hell. You know, stuff like that. I don't really see anybody other than his family or maybe little dudes in the streets he might have been taking care of. I don't see anybody just being there like, oh my goodness, he was a hero and he shouldn't be gone. The dude was not remorseful a bit. You know what I'm saying? And watching Paid in Full just puts all of this into perspective. I actually just watched that movie. Y'all, I think I just watched that movie at the beginning of this year while I was out for surgery. My boyfriend made me watch it because a lot of the movies that I'm supposed to know, my ass don't know them because I just wasn't interested in that. Like, my brother was into all of that stuff, like, but me, I don't know. I just don't be into all that gangster stuff or whatever. But when I watched it and I found out it was kind of like a true story, I got way into it. So yeah, shout out to everybody. Shout out to Cameron. He played the hell out of Alpo's part, for real, for real. Kept it very interesting. But let me know what you guys think. Real quick, the hitman Wayne, the one who Alpo told on, the one who has life or whatever, I think he's made some comments. I'd be interested to see what he said, because I don't know if he's reformed or not. Maybe he's in the forgiveness mode. Maybe he's still pissed at Alpo. I don't know. But I did see a few interviews where people said they told him, don't trust Alpo. They tried to tell him he was a low down, dirty snake in the grass. But unfortunately, sometimes the I told you so's they're just so big. They're like, you know, I told you so. But now he's got life in prison, so there's nothing that he can do about it. But y'all, like, share, comment, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys on the next one.